Imagine this, a race in which after the gun, everyone is looking to cream destiny and the pack will surge forward under the Oregon lights, bike biting into the track. Athletes jostled for position. Every woman that starts line knew her truth. Only the tickets to Paris existed and hesitation would be punished. Let's enjoy this race. I'll be back with a deep commentary and a deep dive.
And she's won 6 NCAA titles in total. Just extraordinary.
There's been a lot of question of how will she transition to pro, but I have to tell you, in that semi, she looked great. She knew.
Hold on a little bit. Let me emphasize something. A lot of you enjoy watching these races, but you don't take your time to subscribe. Today is a Sunday, and if you believe on being kind on a Sunday, please subscribe today. No more interruption. See you at the end.
Infeld. Now they're all starting to position themselves and jostle very early. They don't want to get caught in the pack and get caught in the traffic and risk catching a heel or a toe or falling early. They want to find their own space. So Parker Valby goes to the front.
And she might have her eye on the clock. She does not have the Olympic standard in this event. She has run 14:52 point something, so she is just off the Olympic standard in this event, and I wouldn't be surprised if she keeps her eye on the clock. She is used to running all on her own.
In this race, the early laps are unfolding like chess match at full speed. Parker Valby, fearless and unbothered by reputation, floated near the front, her relaxed stride masking the chaos around her. And Ellie's granny stalked patiently, eyes locked, conserving energy as Ellie St. Pierre stayed composed, experienced, unshaken, and waiting for the moment when the race would demand everything. And Carissa Schweizer hovered, dangerous, ready to strike.
Was born a month before Ellie St. Pierre gave birth to Ivan, and she's returned great from her pregnancy.
By the way, just a little side note, we've mentioned Elise Cranny and Ellie St. Pierre quite a bit already. They're both doing the double. They're doing the 5,000, 1,500 double, and both prefer the 1,500, but they both do really well at this distance as well.
It's really incredible, and especially for Cranny, who's run so well in the 10,000. She's a national champion in the 10,000 meters, but she just said, you know what, I love the 1,500. That's my favorite event. I'm more suited for the 5,000, so I'm comfortable running that. But my true love is the 1,500. We see St. Pierre, they're just comfortable. Look at how comfortable she looks. She is just going to jog through this as easily as she can until the kicking starts later and the pace really starts to quicken.
And ahead of her is one of 4 Olympians in this field. That's Emily Infeld. She was a Rio Olympian, so watch for Emily. We'll continue to monitor that. She sits second at the moment. But let's check in with the guys in the field. Paul, Trey?
Yeah, we wanted to get you the last field event and the qualifying of the women's discus, where Lisa Allman cheering on her daughter Val Allman, the reigning Olympic champion from Tokyo. And Trey, she didn't spend a lot of time in the infield today.
No, I talked to her and her coach in her last little shakeout, and they said, we're ready. And I was like, what does that mean? And well, this is what it means. A meet record right there. Coming back over, hugging Coach Zeb Zion. Fantastic way to start. One and done for the American record holder, Valerie Allman.
She was 23 feet better than the next nearest competitor, a new meet record. And get yourself in the final with those 11 other women. And the discus final, Lee, is on Thursday night.
That's a victory with authority. It's quite the disparity between first and second there as we bring you back to the final of the women's 5,000, currently being led by Parker Valby.
Well, they're running right at about 15-minute pace, but Lee, I'm very impressed by Parker Valby. She is not intimidated by any of these women. She's running against some of the best runners America has produced, and she says, you know what, I feel comfortable in the front, I feel comfortable controlling the effort, and she's doing just that.
So here at Hayward Field at the 2024 NCAA Championships, she swept both this distance and the 10,000 meters as well. A lot of miles in those legs this year.
A lot of miles. I have to tell you, though, the women in back of her are happy that she's taking this lead. That means they don't have to do any work. They don't have to think. They're able to just ride this train until they need to think about positioning and kicking over the final mile or so. So Parker Valby has put herself out front, and all the women in back of her are happy to do that and ride this train.
There's several very wise and experienced women further back, like Ellie St. Pierre. There's Elise Cranny, and don't discount Carissa Schweitzer either. Watch for them to make their move, but we've got plenty of time left, 8.5 laps remaining. Woodfield in Eugene, Oregon. She's got Olympian Rachel Smith right behind her. who knows what it's like to represent Team USA, and so too do the three women behind her as well. St. Pierre, Cranny and Schweitzer, here they come.
This is very impressive lead. Parker Valby is going out and pacing these women at Olympic standard pace. They are currently on 14 minutes 50-second pace. That is under the Olympic standard of 14:52. And only 4 women in this race have that standard, but look at this train who is riding on her and hoping that she's going to pull them to that time and a spot on the team. I'm just so impressed. She is so unintimidated. She understands the assignment, and she's going to make it happen.
Her folks have been following her around this year in an RV. They brought the RV to nearby Springfield, and Parker was staying with them prior to the trial starting before she moved into a hotel. But pretty cool family story, and talented young woman leading this field.
I do want you to look at St. Pierre and look at Cranny and just look at how relaxed they are. They're just riding this train. This is a pace that is not easy, but well within their wheelhouse. And they're just happy to have her pull this out and get the separation in the field over the next few laps. It's just less bodies to contend with later on in the race.
Elise Cranny had a pretty substantial coaching change and joined new coach Jared Kornfeld earlier this year in March, and she said, look, it's just a change of scenery, a change of environment. She said, I feel rejuvenated. I feel refreshed and rejuvenated, and I've also kind of gone back to my old just racing on instinct as opposed to racing to a plan. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes, you know, the further you get up that chain and higher on the podium, the more you start to second guess things. And one of the things that Cranny has is amazing instinct. She knows when to go. We saw it in the semi when that whole race slowed to a start and she didn't want to be leading. All of a sudden she found herself in the lead, but she just trusted her instinct. She knew when it was time to press, and she really looks very, very comfortable. So does Carissa Schweitzer right behind her. They're former teammates, former training partners. And Schweitzer is finally healthy for the first time in a long time, and she is fit, so she's going to hang on to this as well. She's very much so capable of kicking with the best of them.
Carissa said after the prelims that she hasn't been this confident in a couple of years, and when you're dealing with injuries and you've had to come back from that, that's totally understandable, but she's dangerous. That's number 8 in the red and white. Keep an eye out for her. She's got Whitney Morgan right behind her, number 11.
And Whitney Morgan is also coming back from a surgery, started running again in April. This is impressive out of her on such a shortened build up to this Olympic trials. Absolutely. St. Pierre based on her performances, Cranny and the happiness she's found, and Schweitzer finally being healthy. This is going to be an absolute dynamite last lap, Lee.
Credit to Parker Valby. She's trying to hang on to Carissa Schweitzer. And only 3 will go to Paris. And conveniently, the lead 3 all have the Olympic standard. They're coming to the bell lap.
Well, here we go, Lee. Who is going to be the queen here? We know St. Pierre has so much speed and so much race sharpness, and we know that Cranny is coming back so well, and Schweitzer is looking good. She is not giving them any ground right now.
Here we go. No doubt about who's going to Paris. It's just who's going to win a national championship in the Olympic trials.
I don't see that St. Pierre is all out yet, but I don't see that Cranny is either. I do think Schweitzer is on the ropes a little bit, but we see Cranny now increasing her tempo. She's going to try to pass St. Pierre on the outside.
28-year-old Elise Cranny, 29-year-old Ellie St. Pierre. 2 athletes at the top of their game heading to the Summer Games in Paris. Now this is just about bragging rights. This is about the number, and it's about the confidence, the extra confidence going to Paris. Ellie St. Pierre up against Elise Cranny. It's now a home straight sprint. Who do you like the look of the best? Elise Cranny draws alongside Ellie St. Pierre. They're shoulder to shoulder coming to the line. Cranny, St. Pierre. It's almost a photo finish. Ellie St. Pierre. What a finish to the women's 5,000 meters, and it's an Olympic trials record.
Guys, in this race, as the laps clicked by, the pace tightened its grip, the field strengthened, then compressed, tension rising with every bell. You could feel it in the stadium, the sense that something historic was brewing. This wasn't just about qualifying, this was about proving who belonged to the world's biggest stage. Then came the bell to the final lap. And then one lap, 1 minute, one lifetime, the race exploded. Granny surged fast, lighting the fuse. St. Pierre responded instantly. Her turnover sharp, her face locked in control with fury. Vabi dug deep, refusing to yield because she was running on pure belief. Arms pumped, knees lifted, and suddenly the orderly park became a battlefield. Down the backstretch, it was chaos and courage. Every step screamed urgency, every breath burned. 3 spots, 4 contenders, no mercy. Coming off the final curve, the crowd rose as one. Ellie St. Pierre found another gear, one that only champions knows exists. She powered home, fearless, crossing the line with authority. Behind her, the final for the finals 2 spots was pure survival. Ellie's Cranny lead, fought and wanted and held on. And then Parker Valby, exhausted but unbreakable, summoned the run of her life, refusing to be denied. At the line, history ruled was ruled by 3 women. Now, the 3 dreams realized, 3 names bound for Paris. Tears flowed, hearts pounded, careers were defined. This was more than a race. This was pressure turned into poetry. This Olympic trials was at their absolute best, and long after every light dimmed in that final lap. And guys, this is still echoing and reminding the world why the 5,000 meters is where great guts and greatness collide. So guys, do let me know what you think about this race. Remember, it was a race that Vabi had dominated most of the laps, but then came in St. Pierre to destroy her in the final laps that changed everything. See you guys in my next video. Once again, don't forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that you'll always be notified every time I upload a video. And I'm out, guys. Adios.